Very good morning to you all. Good morning, sir. In the early morning, I asked the students to give the questions. I am completely disturbed, sir. We have nearly 50 questions from the students in different parts. Dear students, I am sorry, I sorted some of the questions and I start like this. This is a question from Maithili of first BSc Poornaprajna College. Sir, you can give it mic to Dr. R.Rao. Oh, yes. Oh, stand mic. My stand mic is better. Maithili, can you stand up, please? My respected Professor R.Rao, what was the fact that attracted you towards ISRO? Today, I can find that engineering students have more scope in ISRO. What about MSc students, MSc Physics, MSc Chemistry, MSc Biology, and so on? These type of questions are nearly 10 here. There are some biology students also, sir. First question is, what was the fact that attracted, sir, you towards ISRO?
ISRO. Therefore, there is no question of attraction. See what, after my MSc, in fact I was a lecturer for a few months in one day in Ahmednagar, and for 4 months about 3 months in St. Philomeno's College in Mysore. And then I went and joined Dr. Sarabhai for my PhD, where I started working on cosmic rays. And the obvious it was that we were going to do that. Dr. Sarabhai was a great visionary, because he was a very rich person, but he also was a very good scientist and a great nation builder. And we started ISRO. It was, we originally called an in-course path, and we found we had some difficult problem because there is a committee in the National Sciences in Delhi which runs various committees in different subjects. And there are 18 scientific unions in the international field. So there is a course part which is of the international thing, and we added in-course part, Indian Committee on Space Research. So, and then in-course part, when it became a committee of that national thing, which has no standing, we said we better get out of that and call it ISRO. That's how the ISRO was formed. And in-course part has still remained. It is there. It is a committee where nothing seems to happen.
Sir, purely with respect to biological students and basic science students, are biologists any help from ISRO like that?
Unfortunately, we haven't started space biology in a big way. In fact, we have hardly done anything, but it has to be done. Particularly when we now talk of I'm not sure whether we as a country will do, sending astronauts outside and astronauts to, let's say, the moon, the Mars, and so on. Whenever it happens, we need, of course, biology. And biology will become an extremely important thing. Because of this, it's not biology, Food Research Institute. Of course, when Mr. Rakesh Sharma went, we made some of the foods got it qualified for eating there, on the way and so on. But take Mars, it takes 8 months to go. So 8 months to go, 8 months to come back, and having spent 8 months and 8 months, 16 months on the way, you should stay there for 8 months at least. Therefore, it comes to almost 2 years. And if you calculate the amount of food each person requires, if they have to carry food from here, obviously you can't grow it in Mars, not at least today, or maybe maybe less than in 10, 15, 20 years, we'll start doing something like that. So he has to carry 4 tons of food. And we have to find that is a large amount of weight. See, 4 people have to go, 16 tons of food has to go with them, because they have to carry food for 2 years. 8 months to go, 8 months to come back, they can't be kept hungry. So it's an impossible task. So there are new things which are coming, and I don't know how much of biology you know. There are certain types of bacteria which can produce food. And in fact, certain type of bacteria, I'm told, I have not tasted it, they just make something like a chutney and use it. Now, of course, all these things will happen because you have to come out with new ideas, new things and so on. And then, of course, we'll have to start. In fact, one of the good biologists, or the, let's say, botanist, he has an idea. It's going to be quite an interesting thing in terms of creating interest. But I am not sure of its scientific merit. Therefore, I didn't encourage him. When the next Chandrayaan mission, when we go, which is not very far off, he wants us to take some seeds from here. Of course, we do this type of experiments and grow there on the moon. And then what he wants to do, of course, that is a nice part, but at the same time is not science. He wants to distribute these seeds to every student in the colleges or in the high schools, so that they grow in different parts of the world, wherever they want. And you compare the growth on the moon to compare the growth on the ground. Maybe in California, maybe in Ahmedabad, maybe in Bangalore, and so on. He wanted to do that, and he wanted me to take. I didn't encourage him because I didn't find that that is a good statistics, and you can't really come to a conclusion in this type of things. But anyway, a lot of work is being done, and a lot of work on biology has been done in terms of the fatigue and so on. But unfortunately, we haven't developed here, but we need to develop sooner or later.
Sir, similarly on different kind of questions. If Earth is not suitable enough for us to live, if it is completely polluted, is ISRO doing some research for humans and other animals to live their life in space?
The space, for going into space, yes, we have facilities built up for training and so on. After Sharma and the 2 people who are trained, we have in fact trained 2 more, because we had the chance of sending on the American the shuttles, but unfortunately the Challenger failure took it away. That's why we had to stop. But they were trained, and we have prepared a large number of foods, including kheer and samosas and so on, so that they can have Indian food on the way up and down. Quite a number of foods have been made, and they have been qualified. In other words, they have to go through a lot of tests before they are accepted. But yes, this is the government has to take the decision. Do we want to get into manned space or not? As of today, government has not taken any decision. And even the decision to send Sharma was first refused by when Dr. Mr. Banerjee Desai was the Prime Minister.